Hi, I'm Lita Leapin.
And I'm Jim Gordon.
And welcome to a new edition of Our City Tonight.
Here we are in late March. Lita Leapin's here at Hydra in the Cabana Lounge, where we often find ourselves.
Yes, but let's get right to the show. We've got lots to cover.
It's on after you watch this. One of the things we like doing on this show and have done for a long time is to introduce you, our viewers, to some great programming from around the world, be it TV or film. That's the case with a show from Ireland called Hidden Assets. Season 3 is available now on Acorn TV. Here's a peek.
What you need to do.
The killer is the connection to Heaslip, the murders, everything.
Don't start asking questions that you don't want the answer to.
Well, and joining us from that show is one of the lead actresses, acclaimed actress. She has been working steady. We're going to get into that for the last couple decades. A great pleasure to welcome Nora Jane Noon. Welcome to Our City Tonight, Nora Jane, and say hello to our viewers here in Canada.
Hello. Thank you very much for having me.
It is a great pleasure to have you, and we do take great pleasure in introducing our viewers here in Canada to great shows around the world, yours being one of them. I came to this show late, Hidden Assets, Season 3, and Nora Jane, what I love is when a show grabs you immediately. Within the first 15 minutes or so of this new season, we've got a raid on a Dublin lawyer's home that goes badly. An investigative journalist and her family are murdered in Bilbao, and you spend the next 6 episodes trying to figure out if the dots connect and who's painting the dots. Tell us a little bit about your character and your team in Hidden Assets Season 3.
Yeah, it starts off with a really tragic incident, and my character's kind of left reeling and left chasing a lead to prove that there's more to it than they first thought, as a way to kind of, justify what's happened and justify herself in her work. So they end up following the money, going to Bilbao, joining up with the reinforcements there, and there's a murder when they arrive, and they realize this is much bigger than they thought. And she's then up against the clock. There's media pressure, there's pressure from her boss, and the clock is really ticking for her to try and prove that there's a link here that's going to justify her gut feeling. And so, yeah, it's right off the bat, and it was really fun to dive in. And really, you get to see a lot more of the personal side of my character this season. I think you get to see what's going on behind her professionalism a lot more, which was really fun.
Yeah, I must say that one of the things I enjoyed is not the correct word because it is stressful, but it was the subplot, some kind of different layer where you do see the personal side of your character, Detective Sergeant Claire Wallace, and what's going on at home. She has obviously a loving partner, but this job is all-consuming, especially when it involves you being not there for great periods of time, as you're in Bilbao. I love that they showed that part of this part of your life. How important was that for the writers to do that, and how important was that for you playing this character again?
I think it's very important because you need to care about these characters. Last season, my character was new. You were setting it up, you were getting to know her, but you already had established storylines and characters from maybe the previous season that you knew a lot about. You knew a lot about their family, you knew a lot about their struggles. And so I think it was really important to bring that element into it for Claire this season.
One of the things I read about you, Nora Jane, is that in terms of acting and what you look for, I saw a quote here. I'm hoping it's you. It said, as an actor, you're drawn to exploring the darker aspects of life, facing them and moving through them to heal and move forward. And going back to your character, Claire in Hidden Assets, as you mentioned, I don't want to give away what it is, but she does seem to be suffering from maybe PTSD. I love that is something that draws you to a character as an actress. And could you talk a bit more about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just life, isn't it? We all go through challenges, and it's finding a way out and a way through where you can gain as much positively from that as possible. And kind of the alchemy of whether it's loss or, challenges in life or health or whatever it might be, it's all the same process of healing, I think, and growing as much as you can in your time. And I've been writing in the last few years, and I've realized that those things start to come out more clearly when you start to realize what it is that draws you to something, or what it is that you're fascinated by.
Nora Jane, I got to kind of blow your horn a little bit here, but I was reading some of the Irish Times. Ireland has been making movies and TV for a lot of years. They ranked you as the number 47th greatest actors of all time on their list. You're in a top 50. That must have warmed your heart.
It does. It's I kind of it's hard to get a perspective on that kind of thing. You're just kind of trying to do your best each job you do, so you're taking it one job at a time. But it's really lovely. Yeah. That's
a nice pat on the back, isn't it? Hey, we won't keep you because I know it's early evening where you are, but we want to remind our viewers again: Acorn TV broadcasts programming from all over the world. Your new season, and I will say to our viewers, Nora Jane, I came to this show late. I didn't see season 1 or 2, so I started watching season 3, but it explains things easily. I was able to understand quickly the players, the setup, everything. Season 3 right now, folks, of Hidden Assets, and this will be in my top probably 3 of this year, and it's only March. So we want to thank Nora Jane Noon for joining us. We really appreciate this. Thank you. And I will say there is a great beat that comes at the end of this season 3 that we will not reveal, but it certainly is a strong personal beat that people will be shocked because it will lead beautifully into season 4, I'm thinking.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. There she is. It's Nora Jane Noon joining us here on Our City Tonight.
This segment was sponsored by the Richmond Sentinel, providing news, entertainment, and human interest stories in print and online.
Well, it has been a few months since our last visit with our friends from First Tee British Columbia. You recognize this woman beside me. Kelly Baker is the development officer for First Tee British Columbia. Kel, I said to you off camera, it may be midwinter right now, but that doesn't mean that First Tee British Columbia slows down by any means.
No. We are so charged up. We're so ready. We're planning for this incredible year ahead. So lots of things to do.
And what's great being here for the first time, we should say where we are, folks. We're actually out at the backyard golf in the Surrey Cloverdale area. We're right beside that location at the Clayton Public House, cool pub and restaurant with one of their patios. And what's great, I said to you too, is that we're in an area that is surrounded by suburbs and schools. So kids should be here.
So you know that the whole mandate of First Tee is really to bring accessible golf to every child, to make sure every child can play.
Right.
So why not this amazing neighborhood? There's 2 schools, there's 2 high schools, lots of children in these suburbs. This is a really exciting place to be for us.
And it's not intimidating as a course, and I don't mean that in a bad way. It's smaller, and therefore kids, I mean, I grew up playing on smaller executive courses, kids, because my parents knew the big courses would be just too intimidating. So Sure. You've got a great kind of practice area here as well, huh?
Yes, so we're really excited, really excited, but certainly we are, because this is a very, I don't want to say simple course, but it's an easier course for a child to handle, and they don't have to look at it like a big challenge.
Yeah.
We're trying to teach them the foundations of not just drive, chip, and putt. We're teaching them all the life skills that go along with being an athlete on and off the course.
Okay, well, as we always do with the First Tee British Columbia segments, Kelly always kicks us off. Let's go meet some of the people that are showcasing this great area and this great facility here tonight. Joining us now is the owner. Good to have this guy, the owner of the Backyard Golf Club. Matt Paulson joins us. Matt, it's a pleasure to finally meet you.
Yeah.
This is quite a story you've got here. Talk about, I've been saying this to everybody, talk about how important what you're doing here is to Surrey, Cloverdale, in this neighborhood.
Well, I grew up on top of the hill in the Cloverdale, Clayton area, so I've been here my whole life, and this is actually the first place I've ever golfed.
Okay.
So it was my introductory, because the course has been here since like 1983 or 84. So it's kind of a bit of a full circle for me to come back, and I think it's vital for golf in general.
Yeah.
Surrey Langley's booming. It's growing so fast. And I think facilities like this and what we've kind of created, it's a new concept to get more kids into golf, women to golf, beginners. Golf's gone through quite a boom recently with COVID. And I don't know, I just think it was time. And this place was an underutilized golf facility that on its own wasn't making it. So I came with a fresh idea and definitely did it. It was wild.
Where can people find out more details on this wonderful place?
Yeah, so it's still called the Clayton Hills Par 3, and then the backyard is the short game facility. It's
right.
that. So we have the lobsters, the First Tee, but the backyard golf.ca is our website. It has all our information, all our memberships. It will soon be all edited and updated for this year. We're really excited for 2026 and everything that we're going to do with the First Tee and all our partners.
I know you got a busy night planned. Thank you for taking the time, and congratulations. You're doing a wonderful thing. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Cheers. Well, it's a pleasure to meet this woman for the first time. Indra Bond is the COO of the Surrey White Rock Board of Trade. I see you out and about quite often, but this is the first time we're meeting, so welcome to our city tonight.
Thank you. It's my city as well.
It is.
It is.
It's good to see you here tonight. How important is First Tee to the youth in your cities?
Yeah, absolutely. It is very, very important. And we had a huge discussion on that this morning as is. Everybody knows what's happening in Surrey with this extortion and everything's like going around. We believe that mostly is to do with the youths. And everybody knows that it was on media, the pictures were out there. These youths that were involved in extortion recently are under the age of 18 or 19. Yes, so it is very important for programs like this. It's so important that First Tee is out there. I'm so proud of them, of what they are doing. We need these youths and these children to get involved in other things, not, get them busy with other activities. And this is an amazing opportunity for them. We'd love to promote this to the Surrey and White Rock Board of Trade as well.
Well, he is the new CEO of British Columbia Golf. Welcoming Matthew Steinbach to our city tonight. Congratulations on the new title.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Talk a bit about what your entity does and why you're here tonight.
Yeah, so at BC Golf, we're the provincial sport organization for the province. We're in charge of amateur golf from first stage to every stage and every level. And we're encouraging participation. We're encouraging our championships. So we have many roles within the province. But the First Tee and introducing youngsters to the game is really important to us on our player development pathway.
Yeah. Well, you and I were saying off camera, we're both products of taking up the game when we were barely able to walk, and how important that is. When you see First Tee getting involved with facilities like we have here, talk about how vital that is, because they're popping up a lot.
Yeah, the backyard facility is phenomenal. And when you look at the community putting green and the fact that you have so many different stalls out there to just learn how to put the ball in the hole, that's the skill of golf. And that really is what differentiates it to put that little ball in the hole. And it really connects to my story growing up, especially with the 9-hole course. I grew up at a 9-hole par 3 course in Sylvan Lake, Alberta. Rode my bike with a few clubs over my shoulder. My buddy and I, we would play from sun up to sundown. And I didn't realize how important that was, not just to my golf development, but my development in life.
Well, yes, another familiar face. Boy, she is a superstar. She's on her way. Okay, no smiling or jumping around while I'm talking. All right?
Okay.
No, I'm joking. She thought I was serious. Costanza joins again. We had your mom on the last segment just before Christmas. We haven't talked to you, I guess, since the tournament last fall.
Yeah.
What have you been up to? I assume playing lots of golf.
A lot. Like, a lot. I've been practicing like any other day. But concentrated. Concentrated in my targets and everything, and I'm like so excited.
You told me a long time ago when we first met that we call it practice, but you love it so much that this is just a love, isn't it? It's not practice.
No, it's like a habit now, because like when I'm sick, it's like I want to go out the golf course because I need golf everywhere.
Yeah.
What
are your plans as we get into the warmer weather? Playing a lot more golf?
Every day, 24 hours, like nonstop.
Hey, we should say, what's great about these events too is that you're a junior ambassador.
Yes.
You're going to be up talking tonight.
Yes.
What are you going to be talking about?
I'm going to be talking about how I got involved with golf, how golf affects my life, how...
I was going to say First Tee. You've been with them since you were
First Tee, obviously.
barely able to walk, I would think, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you'll hear it. It's going to be a surprise.
We'll hear it. Actually, Costanza, look for her, folks, on the tour. Not long from now. Thanks very much for joining us.
Yeah.
Well, we have beside me a First Tee British Columbia success story. Name is Mary Parsons. She's on the Epson Tour in the States. Boy, she's been flying a lot lately, and thank goodness she got up here for this event. Mary, it is a pleasure to meet you and welcome.
Thank you.
As I mentioned, your life is traveling because of your golf. Talk to our viewers about what First Tee has meant to you when you were younger and how it's helped you today.
First tee was an opportunity for me to learn, really. I was able to do the game with a bunch of friends in a welcoming environment where we could really just be kids and get to know the game and the environment around it.
That's really important. You hit on something I never thought of, because I played as a kid, and it was great to be able to learn the game with your friends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I think most people know golf is a very exclusive game, and it's sometimes hard to access. And this gives you an opportunity to go out to a par 3 course with a bunch of friends or family, really, of all ages, and you're able to connect over for the love of the game.
That's fantastic. And you blew in last night. You're gone tomorrow morning, back on the tour. So we thank you for taking the time for us. And hey, continued success. Thank you.
Thank you.
Excellent.
This segment was brought to you by First Tee British Columbia, empowering children and teens through the game of golf. For more information, go to firsttbc.ca.
Well, taking a little break from the show, just a reminder to check out all the great stuff online and in the magazines with our partners, the Richmond Sentinel.
Yes, we do all kinds of interviews, and we also do a little kind of hot sheet in the Sentinel. So it's a lot of fun, some of the things that we've discovered over the last month.
It's a great publication, and you can also find some of the segments that we do, longer versions. They're on the Sentinel website. It's richmondsentinel.ca. Now, back to the show.
Our next guest has a very unique story, and he has put it all into a heartfelt memoir. It's called Fly on the Wall. And in this book, Bill Pugin shares 5 decades of his dedication to the deaf community as an American Sign Language interpreter. His travels and expertise allowed him to work with celebrities, presidents, and all the elite. I want to welcome Bill Pugin to our city tonight.
Thank you, Lita. Nice to be here.
Oh, it's great. I loved your book. I didn't know what to expect, and I think one of the things, the biggest thing I learned is that there is so many differences in the deaf community. Number one, and I'm going to ask you about this, all the different sign languages in all the different countries. That was a shocker to me. So why don't we start with that? Like, was that something that surprised you as you started out on your career?
No, it didn't really surprise me because I have a deaf sister, and I learned early the language that ASL stands for American Sign Language. Yeah. And I keep reminding people that think that it's a universal language, that the A in ASL is American Sign Language. So if you go to England, you use BSL, which is British Sign Language. And it's different in every country because language is culture. Is how I usually like to describe it succinctly. Language is culture, so every culture has its own language, including a manual sign language. So you would think that it would all be the same, but if we use the same sign language, I think everybody in the world would just learn it, and then we would travel the world and sign to each other. But it is very, very different in every country. And even though we speak English in England, the culture is different than in America, and the signs are very different. You might be able to travel to another country and do this, and somebody guesses that's a baby, or do this and they'll guess that's cry, but drive. But other than that, very different.
Well, that was fascinating. Now, you started your career well, I guess it took you by surprise going that direction. Can you share a little bit of that story with us?
Well, yeah, I'm the youngest of 4 kids in my family, and my sister Marianne is the second oldest. So she's 8 years older than I, and she lost her hearing at 3. So by the time I was born and came to be a gurgling, babbling baby, she was already deaf. She lost her hearing at 3. So I only knew her as my older deaf sister, and I was fascinated by her. Even as a young kid, I realized that she struggled to communicate with the family. Nobody learned sign language until I did at 17. And then my other sister went the next year to learn to sign. And I realized that even as a very young boy, it just didn't seem fair that the burden of communication was always put on my sister's shoulders. She had to lip read, she had to struggle with speech if she didn't know how to say a word. It was all sort of on her. And I never thought it was fair. Even as a young 4-year-old, I thought, this doesn't seem right. So when she would come home from school, she was sent to a school for the deaf in the 5th grade, I believe it was. She would bring home classmates and I would watch them communicate. And I was so envious. I wanted to know what made them laugh. What were they talking about? It was a secret language. And I was determined to learn that language. And 50 years after starting to study it, here I am. And I have been an interpreter for 50 years. And she and I are very close because I did learn her language and learned about her culture and her community and never looked back. I can't believe time has gone this quickly.
Oh, my goodness. Well, you've had a very full life. Not that we're ending it here, but not only did you learn sign language, but you became the top of your field. You actually even started a company. But I have to say, it's so funny, interspersed with you are a fairly well-known actor as well as performer, dancer. You had this whole sideline alongside, but you always came back to that. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, I was always a little boy that loved to sing and dance. So I was in children's theater. And when I got older, I realized I still had that skill. I still had that love to perform. And sign language sort of helped me do that because you're present, you're out there and you're performing sort of for your audience. And I was able to combine my love of interpreting and sign language with music. So at a very young age, I was doing shows in sign language with music, signing songs. And I think the message that I want to always go back to in the book was that I always said yes to things. Anytime anything was presented to me, I said yes, even if it scared me. So one of the things that was presented to me at a young age when I was 21 was the opportunity to work on a cruise ship as a singer-dancer. And I did that. I just grabbed it. Somewhere in my brain, I thought, when am I going to get this opportunity to travel the world and get paid for it and sing and dance in front of thousands of strangers every week?
The person that I have to mention is Marlee Matlin. That is somebody that you worked a long time with. Tell us a little bit about how that came to be.
Well, Marlee and I are great friends. We were just on a Zoom call this morning before this call, and we are very good friends. She doesn't live that far from where I live, about an hour away. But we met the year she won her Oscar for Best Actress for Children of a Lesser God. I was teaching song signing at the Music Center for a group called VSA, Very Special Arts. And they had used me a couple of years in the past and every year since then to teach little kids how to sign songs. They had various tents set up at the Music Center, and there was face painting and there was other things for kids, and my tent was song signing. And that year, the host, Lauren Twees, who played Julie McCoy, the cruise director of the Love Boat, I had worked with her on board Princess Cruises. It's a very small, little, incestuous group in my life. It's a small circle of people that I seem to stay in contact with. But Lauren came to my tent with the guest of honor that year, which was Marlee. And Marlee had just won the Oscar, and peripherally I saw them walk in, and I thought, "Hey, boy, Marlee Matlin is here. Don't screw this up." Oh. And I did my thing, and she really liked it and came over, and we hit it off like we had been old pals. And that was, oh my gosh, how many years ago? How many decades ago was that? And since then, we have remained great friends. We've worked together on 28 of her projects, 28 film and TV shows. I've traveled the world with her from almost all the provinces in Canada. We've worked from BC all the way to New Brunswick.
I learned a lot in your book about the difference between small letter D deaf and big letter D deaf. Can you, for our audience, just as an education, just as we wrap up here?
Sure. I'm glad you asked that. I mean, first of all, putting it out that sign language is not universal. That's very important to know. And the second thing is that the little d deaf refers to hearing loss. A deafened adult, or if we're talking about deafness in general, a hearing loss. The capital D for deaf relates to the deaf culture, somebody who uses ASL as their main form of communication, who identifies with the culture, who may have attended a school for the deaf growing up, who really are part of a community that involves sign language and has a shared experience with a shared language. That's really what culture is. So I made sure I wanted to differentiate just the word deaf or deafness with giving honor and respect to those people who are in that culture, in that community. And then I used the capital D deaf.
Wonderful. Well, it was great to read that in the book, and everything about your book, it was entertaining and it was very educational in that side. It makes me want to learn sign language, but that's a whole other side of my life. Thanks for joining us. I'm going to encourage everybody, I'm going to hold the book up here. Bill Pugin, Fly on the Wall. What an interesting book. It's not just for sign language. It's just a great read overall, and I encourage people to pick that up. Where can they find this, Bill?
First of all, thank you so much. They can find it on Amazon.com. They can find it on Barnes & Noble barnesandnoble.com or bnn.com. It's sold through Barnes & Noble, the online store, and also Amazon.com. And hopefully soon will be in bookstores. We're working in that direction.
In a bookstore near you, too.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for being on the show.
Closed captioning and other promotional considerations provided by Hamilton High Street Senior Residence, Richmond's newest senior living community.
Well, we have come to the end of the show. What are you laughing
Oh,
at?
just laughing because, well, it's the end of the show.
Aw.
Oh, the fun we have off camera, folks. Anyway, great show. Don't forget you can contact us, info@OurCityTonightTV, and don't forget to check out our website. Lots there. It's OurCityTonightTV.com.
But I have to say, we have a lot of fun on the show, too.
Oh, we certainly do. Thanks to all our guests, and thank you for watching all these years. We continue to move through into the springtime. I'm Jim Gordon.
And I'm Lita Lee Benz.
We'll see you in April on Our City Tonight.
Visit OurCityTonightTV.com for all the latest episodes, segments, and our new podcast. And please be sure to like and subscribe.
The Richmond Sentinel, providing news, entertainment, and human interest stories in print and online.